Let me jump straight into this video, guys. So I'm going to start to make a whole bunch of different points and go off in a bunch of different directions as I continually go on in this video. But when it comes to men and women and relationships, I feel a lot of girls today do not understand their role, and they continually fail to understand their role. I'm not saying all, just a lot. And with that being said, I don't want to come off as biased, because let me say this. We can't put all the blame on girls. We can't put all the blame in that sense, because I feel a lot of men today are failing. A lot of men today are not living up to who they should be, so women don't want to settle with them. And it makes sense. But I think where a lot of these girls are going wrong is that sometimes they can look past the guys that were actually good for them. Like maybe once upon a time you didn't have it all together, and they kind of looked past you, because we all know what happens. Women wait at the finish line to get the winners. It doesn't matter how much potential you have. It doesn't matter how hard you're working. Like for a lot of women, you really have to do it. You really have to be that winner. You really have to do something significant in order for them to really want you. And it's unfortunate, because I think that's where they're failing. And what they don't realize is that when you do this to a guy, once he wins, once you overlooked him, once he wins, he ain't gonna want you now. So I feel a lot of girls today are passing up winners. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. Because he might not have been Mr. Perfect at that moment. Maybe because he was young. Maybe because he had a lot of work to do, a lot of time. He had to go through the motions of life and really get it together. So I think they go wrong in this essence. And I can't sit here and blame girls that don't want to settle for the average dude out there. I cannot sit here and blame them. I can't. Because, and as a guy, you might not have it all together right now, like I said, but you could be working ever so hardly to get to that spot. And you might not be there right now, but you're working damn hard to get there. I don't think women should overlook that guy. Now, if you're showing her signs that you're lazy, you don't really want more, you're not really doing more, you're not really doing anything, you can't blame a woman for not wanting you in this case. But some of the best guys are getting passed up today because they're not at the finish line at the moment. I know a lot of guys where I come from, they have so much potential. They have good things going for them right now, and they're being overlooked. And I don't know what these girls think, because it's like, what do you think's going to happen when he gets to the finish line? He ain't even going to want you. He's going to get somebody else that did not take him for granted, and you're going to be the one that missed out. And the percentage of that woman getting another man of that caliber or higher is slim to none, because you missed out. Like I made a video, successful dudes always have leverage over beautiful women, because there's so many beautiful women. There's not so many men that really have it together, that are in the top 5-10% of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, there's a much higher percentage of beautiful women than that. Much higher. That's why the men have leverage. These men anyway. Now, another thing that I want to explain is that no man wants a competitor for a partner. If you were a girl, if you're a woman, whatever you want to call yourself, if you're trying to compete with this guy, if you're not submissive to him, and you know what? If you are really about your shit as a man, you're going to get that girl that's going to submit. She's going to look at you like the best thing ever. She's like, wow, look at this guy. She wants you. Like, she feels blessed to just be in your presence. So if you don't have a girl that is like that towards you, and she's kind of like, it doesn't mean you're not at that caliber either, but like if you have a girl that is like trying to compete with you, that's trying to prove something to you, she's in a masculine frame, she's rude, she's obnoxious, she's loud, you don't even deal with them. Do not argue with them. Do not do anything with them at all. Let them go. Let them shoot themselves in the foot, and you continue on. You don't need anything like that. What they fail to realize, they think what they want in us is what we want in them, and it's so far from the truth. Because you know what women want in us? They want a high value, high status, good looking, dominant, money making man. In every sense of the word. Every girl wants that. And you can add in some attributes like height, status, things like this. You can add in some attributes. And we do not want those things in women. What we want in women is completely different. So that's where these girls are continuously going wrong, is what I'm trying to explain here. They don't understand their role. If you want to have success with these types of men, this video is not to bash. This is to help you understand who you have to be, what you have to do. I don't even know who you are. Like, there's always women on this channel that's trying to like you think I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking not only to you, but to everybody, and I don't even know who I'm talking to. So don't take offense. Some of you are so sensitive. Like, take the information and go with it. You don't have to be so hateful. Like you don't understand. You're silly. There's no other way to say it. And like, that behavior just continues on with you types of women. And it's disgusting. Like, that's the most unattractive thing ever. Do you want to be an attractive woman, or do you want to be some obnoxious monster? Like an ogre? Because that's what you are. And it's disgusting. That's like a man acting like the most girliest girl ever. It's equivalent. Do you know how disgusting that would be to a very feminine woman? That's disgusting behavior. It's corny. It's cringe. That's exactly how us men think of you whenever you act and behave like this. It's just not, it's just that every man is not going to tell you this. That's the difference. So, you know what you got to do. Understand your role. What we want in women is beauty, looks, a good personality, to the point where you understand what you have to do, you understand who you have to be, you submit to us, you're on our program. You know who's the more dominant sex? The man. The men are the more dominant sex. Males over females. We are more dominant. We're not submitting to you. You cannot have two CEOs in the relationship. There's one leader. You don't have two leaders in a relationship. It's not going to work. There's one leader and there's one follower. You are the follower. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be alpha, if you want to be a masculine female, go get yourself a feminine man that is going to submit to you. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. Not the other way around. Because the only person that's going to do this is the men that you're not even attracted to. And that's where these girls go wrong. Because they're trying to attract a high value, high status, masculine man by being the same thing. Like you think that's what you're just confused. You're just confused, and that is what's going on. You think that's the recipe to get him when it's so far from the truth. He don't want you like that. He don't even want to be your friend. He don't want nothing to do with you. You have this type of attitude towards him, or just in life in general. He don't want you. And that's why these women are single. And if they're not single, they have beta male simps on the go. They are the rulers of them. They're probably more successful than them, telling them what to do. And this might sound, oh, so harsh, but it's the truth. You got to be a good little girl and play your role. That's what you have to do. Because there's only one daddy in the relationship. There's not two. There's not two bulls. Play your role. If not, then whatever. Do what you want. You're entitled to do what you want. But I'm just telling you what you have to do to get the man you actually want. You're probably just a little bit confused. Or you got brainwashed by feminism. You got brainwashed into society by thinking that high value men who are leaders want the same thing in a woman. Not true. Complete opposite. Opposites attract. He don't want that. You guys are going to butt heads like this, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to be a failed relationship, a failed connection. It's not even going to get started. I shouldn't even said a failed relationship, because you weren't even in a relationship to begin with, because you can't even get a man like that if you are the way you are. He's not even going to look your way. But you think doing what you're doing is going to attract him, and it's not. You must be submissive. You must be willing to go into this man's life. Have trust into him. Have trust into his leadership. And you are a complement to his life. You bring value by doing what you should be doing, by playing your role. Traits of a woman, not a man. So I hope this is understood. And you know, I've seen videos that made me think to do this video. This is the truth. And these videos are always to help. There's a lot of channels that are getting bashed today from speaking truth on female nature, on men, on everything. And what they're actually trying to do is help. It's because these things are never being put out like it is today. What do you guys think is going to happen? This stuff right here, it's only going to intensify. It might be uncomfortable to speak about, but it's going to intensify. for the women that know how to be women, these videos are only confirmation for you that you are who you're supposed to be, that you're doing the right things. Same with men. These videos are for people who are very confused on their role, which is all the bitter people. That's who these videos are for. You have to know who you are and what you're doing. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you're doing, you're never going to have success. These are self-help videos for you. And these people still complain. Like, you're being helped. And you're trying to, like, bash the people that's trying to help you because you're triggered. Because you're offended. You have issues. Clearly. That have yet to not be resolved. Here is your blueprint. You know what to do. You know how to act. You know how to behave. Easier said than done. It's going to take you time. It's going to take you some work. But this is what you have to do. Play your role. Don't be such a Sam Squanch. No high value man wants an ogre. Like, get out of here, Shrek. Like, you're not wanted. We're good. We're going to continue to do what we do. Shrek, I'm sorry, but you're not what we're looking for. At all. You have to submit. If you don't, there's no relationship. And then these types of girls want to go on, oh, well, if I do that, I'm giving all my power away. Well, if I do that, it's the power away excuses. So you're living in fear. They admit to living in fear. Their relationships are fear-based. So, are you not going to start your business because you're living in fear? You can't live in fear. You have to be fearless in the pursuit of the things that you actually want and desire. And if you don't do what is necessary to get the things you want and desire, you're never going to get them. If you want to act like an alpha female, you're never going to get an alpha man that you truly want and desire, because that is what you want. But you're living in fear, so you're never going to get him because he's not going to want you. That's just how it goes. Opposites attract. You have to play your role. And it's all these alpha females that want to pretend like being submissive is such a bad thing today, when that's the traditional way of relationships. You have to have faith in your man. If you don't, do not submit. I'm not telling you to submit to someone that you don't want to submit to. But once you get your man, you must. That's how the relationship actually forms and becomes healthy. When you submit, when you're playing your role, that makes a man happy. That makes him love you and desire you more. When you become an obnoxious, loud, arrogant, disrespectful woman that's getting in his face, that's causing drama out of nothing, he wants you that much less. A lot less. I know men who have left their wives having 2 kids with her. And I know these people. And I don't want to say any names. I don't really want to bring up like who it is, but I knew them my whole life. And this man left his wife that they had 2 kids with, that they had these 2 kids, and their kids grew up to be into their 20s, into their mid-20s, before they even got a divorce. And that's because, and this guy tried to make it work for so many years with this woman, but she was just, some women, after a while, they can change. They can then start to become just annoying, arrogant, rude, dominating. obnoxious women. And no man wants that. Do you guys understand what happens when two mates live in the same house, when roommates and stuff like this? That's why I could never do this. I lived for a couple months with two different guys, 3 bedrooms. I hated it. I can't stand it. I literally rather live at home at my folks' house, because this happened when I was 18. I also lived in a dorm in Montreal at the TriStar gym with dozens of guys in a fighting gym in the dorms. Hated it. It's the exact same thing when you have an alpha woman, because you no longer have your opposite. You have something that's like the same as you, and it's like, get it away from me. Because opposites attract. And you could be friends with somebody, and let's say you're roommates. It can work out for a little bit of time, but it's never going to work out in the end. It's going to come to an end. You're going to get annoyed with each other. You're going to clash heads because you got 2 alphas, 3 alphas, a dozen alphas. It's not going to work. That's why there needs to be a leader, a dominator, and a follower. Someone who is submissive to the leader. That's why you need to have faith in your man. If you don't have faith in your man, I'm telling you right now, do not submit. Do not go with this guy. You must have faith. But there's a difference between having faith and you living in fear. If you're living in fear and he is good for you, wisen up. Do what you got to do to have faith in him. You could be living in fear, thinking the worst case scenarios, because that's what a lot of women do today. The worst case scenario thing. I've talked to some females over this time. Pretty recently, not too recently, but recent enough. 3-4 months straight. And I cut it off because I understand, you know what? This one right here. So many insecurities. So much fear. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to keep putting in effort here because it's too much. If she can't see it at this point, and I always give hella chances to females. I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But it just came to an end because I can't do this anymore. It's a waste of my time at this point. You're still living in fear. You're still in denial. You're still not playing your role. You're still not doing what you should be doing. And I gave you long enough. You're gone. And there's probably a 99% chance you're not going to get another shot. I'm done with this. You really should be working on yourself at this point. And, you know, if you want me that bad, you're going to base your whole life around leveling up so you can get me. That's the only way that would ever happen. And you know how highly unlikely it is for a woman to do that? Because they're so full of themselves. Not all of them, but these types. Exactly. You can go settle for less. Little Miss Muppet. That's what you can do. You're the one that's thinking when you're alone, oh damn, I messed up. Of course you do, because you know you did. You shoot yourself in the foot once again. You could have had something great. You could have had it so good. Our lives could have been so good, but mama had to fuck it all up. And now your daddy doesn't fuck with your mama. Hell no, yeah. Daddy doesn't fuck with your mama. Hell no. You messed it up. You're not playing your role. You're not being who you're supposed to be. You see where all this is going? The only way relationships work is if a woman can be a woman and a man can be a man. He does what men do. She does what women do. You come together. You join forces. You become one. It's not the same thing coming together and she's trying to prove points. She thinks doing and being who you are is what's going to attract you. No. Not at all. The complete opposite. So, no hate, no nothing. This is what it is. We are teaching lessons here. We're not bashing. We can make jokes out of it. We can do all that. But we're here to teach. We're here to make the world better. In every video, that is my intention. I have success with women. I've had success with women. I talk to women. Like the comments I see sometimes from bitter women is just sad. You guys are so clueless. You have no idea what you're talking about. And the fact that some of my truth that I speak hurts you so much, that's why you come with the shaming tactics. With all the BS. That's what you're doing. Because you're mad that I'm telling the truth. You're mad because you are exactly what I'm explaining. And when you have negative comments towards the videos I'm making with the truth and respect, because this is all respectful. Every video I make like this, and these types, and this type of content, it's all out of respect. But they still take it as disrespect because they know I'm right, they know they're in the wrong, and they hate it. So they shame. And that's what you do. That's probably what you will continue to do instead of taking this information and leveling up. You just continue to be in denial and shame. So, I got nothing else left to say in this video. I'm going to wrap this one up. I hope you guys can take a lot from this video. And like I said, guys, you cannot have two bosses. Whenever is there two bosses? There's one boss. And that's it. The rest are followers. So, it's the same for everything. I'm out.